Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are back with an incredible new release. This is something that I, along with many people, have been waiting for quite a long time. It is a new Castermind Creations release. Man, I just don't get excited nearly as much for most releases as I do for Castermind Creations, because their stuff is always the absolute perfect mix of impressive realism and nostalgia through the roof. Like, I am so psyched about this. And what you are looking at, very clearly, would be Alan Grant, aka Montana Max, which is the name that he is going by for this release. We can see we've got Grant. We've also got an insanely beautiful baby Velociraptor down here, which is far and away my new favorite baby Velociraptor that I have in my collection. It looks so much like Crash McCreary artwork brought to life, which is another of the many reasons I'm so excited about that raptor. And then you can also see we have some extras over here as well. And on top of that, there were actually some Castermind Creations stickers here included, which is really cool. Definitely excited to have those in here. It'll be a great thing to be able to include in the background of my Castermind Creations releases, again, up on the shelf. I could definitely put those behind it and basically tell anybody that comes into my collection room who they are looking at as far as what company makes it. But you can see, again, it is absolutely incredible here at first glance, so I'm going to just readjust the camera here for a moment and we'll get a closer look. So straight away, look at the likeness. He has captured it so nicely when it comes to the overall likeness of Alan Grant. It really does not only look like Sam Neill, not only look like Alan Grant, but also has such a strong kind of Kenner feel to it. And of course, if you are familiar with the old Kenner humans, they didn't really quite look like the people they were meant to represent, in my opinion. So it's so cool to have that same Kenner feel here with this figure, which much closer resembles Sam Neill, which is really cool. We can also see we actually have a backpack that is removable, which as well is super fun. But again, he's done such a great job on the overall facial features of Alan Grant. You can see everything looks really well done. The skin tone is perfectly applied. We can also see the eyes of Grant very nicely painted, considering how small that figure is. I really think it kind of gives a whole new appreciation for how good the paintwork is from Castermind Creations. And even cooler, you can see the hair up there, of course, underneath the hat of Alan. As you kind of move around, you can get a nice visual there of his hair. And then, of course, the hat. You know, Alan loves his hat, and we do have the hat very nicely sculpted. And you can even see like some nice bends and everything in the hat, which also adds, again, a nice dose of realism. We do, of course, have articulation, so you can articulate the head left and right for Alan, which is also super cool. As you move down, you can see we've got like that red sort of handkerchief there around the neck of Alan, perfectly painted. And then moving down into his shirt, we do of course have that classic blue shirt, which looks really good. You can also see, again, lots of realism added to the shirt as well when it comes to like the, wrinkles and folds in the shirt, just basically showing some life to Alan and the clothing that he is wearing. We can see the pockets and everything, the buttons moving down the front of the shirt, and you also have a little bit of a lighter tone as you lead down into the bottom of the sleeves. Leading out into the arms, we can also see the arms are very well done as far as the sculpt. Again, perfect skin tone as we lead out. We can also see the fingers and everything of Alan look really good. You can even see the fingernails, and we can see the hands are obviously sculpted in the position of, basically being able to grasp things, so we can put the extras that we have over here into the hands of Alan Grant. As well as the neck articulation, you do of course have arm articulation, which of course is basically on a swivel, so it can continue to move all the way around Alan if you would like it to. And as you can see, it's really quite smooth. Once you do get your figure, it's definitely best to heat the joints up, warm them up a little bit just so that it's easier to move the figure so you don't damage it in any way. But as we lead down a little bit further, you can see Alan's belt and an even more impressive, very fine paintwork from Castermind Creations, you can actually see that the loops of the pants where the belt runs through are all painted. It is so few and far between that you would see an artist go to the greatest lengths to again capture every ounce of paint the way it should be on the figure, and you can see he's definitely done that here again when it comes to painting out the loops there on the pants. And of course the belt itself painted with a really nice darker brownish tone, which looks really good. You can even see the belt buckle and everything. As you move down into the pants, just like with the shirt, you've got all sorts of folds and wrinkles and everything to the pants. You also have a light tone for the pants, again perfectly in my opinion replicating the wardrobe of Alan Grant from Jurassic Park. And as you move up through the back, you could see the same, again all sorts of creases, especially as you lead up here into the top of his legs. You could see lots of realism when it comes to the way that the clothing is basically sitting on Alan Grant. And then as you move down, you also have the boots, of course, that you would see Alan wearing in Jurassic Park, which are also very nicely sculpted. We can see the laces and everything, and again very nicely painted. Same deal for both sides. You have both boots very nicely done. And of course you do also have leg articulation, so you can move the legs forward, so you can nicely pose your Alan Grant, give him a little bit of action, and now he's basically sitting down. So again, you can move both legs forward, and yes, you can move them back. So that shows you again the impressive articulation that Alan has, which is very well done on the part of Castermind Creations. I just love these figures so much. Again, like I said, they are so nice and realistic looking, but just so perfectly created in such a high quality way, but similar to the old Kenner figures, basically like a massively upgraded version of a Kenner Alan Grant that actually looks like Alan Grant. It is just, in my opinion, a masterpiece. We also have the backpack here that goes on Alan, which also looks, again, pretty much like the type of thing you would have seen with the older Kenner releases, as they were almost like militarized humans in certain releases, kind of had that look and feel, and that's pretty much what you get with the backpack as well. And you can just see as you look through it the insanely high quality look and feel. Like most times when you get 3D printed products like this, they don't look quite as high quality as you see here. So it really shows you that Castermind Creations uses nothing but the best when it comes to their releases. And these are actually flexible, which is really nice because it makes it a lot easier to actually put this onto Alan Grant. And as you saw, once it is on Alan, it stays on there very nicely. And as you lead up, you can even see the straps of the backpack are really quite impressive looking, painted with a gray, and then the backpack itself painted with a very nice dark kind of military green, and has all sorts of impressive stuff all throughout the course of that backpack. And we also have some more extras and everything that go with our Alan, more accessories. You can see they also have this like really nice sort of handle here so that you can place it within the hand of Alan, and they do sit in his hand really quite nicely. I actually just had this one in his hand a moment ago. I will go ahead and show you that aspect. So as you can see, you've got the little hole in his hand. You just slide that right in there, and there you go. Alan is now holding it, and he's holding it really well. And on top of that, we also have a very cool kind of like a snare, which as well is pretty reminiscent to the old Kenner type figures. Again, the type of accessories you would have seen with the Kenner releases, and you can see that as well as sculpted really nicely, painted entirely in a very dark gray, kind of like a pavement gray, and that as well is again quite highly detailed, and honestly the perfect addition for Alan for so many reasons, but specifically in this case it is the perfect addition to Alan because he's got himself a little baby Velociraptor, and maybe he's going raptor wrangling, I don't know, but look at how good this raptor is. That is absolutely incredible. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing Castermind Creations release larger versions of these raptors, kind of stylized after the Crash McCreary artwork, which is honestly where this one looks like it came straight out of. It is screaming Crash McCreary, and when you look at the figure, look at how impressive not only the sculpt is, but the paintwork. We've got some really nice nice brownish tones of color. You've got like a sort of like a tan lighter tone there for the lower jaw leading down along the underside. You can see it lead out into the hands and then run down the legs and also out into the underside of the tail. On top of that, you've got a really nice striping effect here moving along the back of the head down into the back and then again out into the tail. And if you are familiar with the Crash McCreary artwork, you could see that the overall color scheme and design here also nicely replicates the look of those raptors. We can see the eyes are painted with a black. The skin texture looks really nice, really impressive throughout. Castermind Creations is an incredibly talented sculptor, and we can see that through the entire figure. They've captured pretty much any and every ounce of detail you would expect to see. The muscle definition throughout the course of the legs looks great. Even the claws down here on the feet look fantastic. You can see the sickle claws and everything looking awesome down here. These nails are painted with a gray, so they stand out quite nicely. You can even see just in general that these raptor feet look honestly perfect to a baby Jurassic Park raptor. I can really quite envision these exact little toes right here leaving the footprints, those very small footprints that we see in Jurassic Park, from the nest that they stumble upon. We can see the arms are kind of curved and held up into the body as well, which looks really nice. And when we turn the raptor around and get a nice look at it from the opposing side, you could just see such an elegant beauty to this baby Velociraptor that, again, just screams Jurassic Park in every way. Honestly, it is a perfect addition to this set, but I would say this baby raptor is just as exciting as our Montana Max figure is. A work of art just like our Alan. Another thing that's really nice about these figures, as we can see, they stand really nicely. The baby raptor has great balance. Alan himself, aka Montana Max, has great balance as well. As far as a size goes, yep, just as I expected, they're sitting pretty much in the 3 3/4 inch size range, so they would fit perfectly in with like the Mattel figures as well as the Kenner figures, I believe. You can see it's right around 9.5, maybe heading toward 10 centimeters, but not quite. And then for our baby Velociraptor, really quite small. You're looking at it about 2 1/4 inches or around 5.5 centimeters, maybe a little bit over, heading towards 6 centimeters, but not quite there. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, Robert Muldoon, and the Collect A human being next to our Montana Max figure from Castermind Creations. And as you can see, sitting right there in the same similar size range as your standard Mattel human being, you can very clearly see that there with Robert Muldoon next to Montana Max, and you can also see how small that little baby raptor is there in comparison to these other figures as well. And I feel like it's honestly pretty obvious what the size is, with the initial comparison. I don't think we really need to do a whole lot more, but what I did want to do was bring in the Castermind Creations Velociraptor next to Alan Grant, because we know Alan loves his Velociraptors. This also helps to give you an idea of how the figures size up next to each other, which I would say is about as accurately as it could possibly get. And on top of that, it also shows you roughly what the size of the baby Velociraptor is in comparison to the adult Velociraptor. Not to mention, I also brought this in because Castermind Creations has actually gone ahead and created another, or is in the process of creating another run of the Velociraptor as well. So if that was a figure that maybe you were hoping to get into your collection the first time around, you may have missed out, you can get it again. You have a second chance at that, and you can pre-order this one right now from Castermind Creations as long as it lasts. Now, it is important to keep in mind that when it comes to the Velociraptor, there will only be 20 available, and when it comes to Montana Max, there will be 25 available. So pretty small limited edition run number there for both. So if you are interested, you make sure you check the link in the description to head on over there and pre-order both right away so you don't miss out. So this Montana Max from Castermind Creations is one of the absolute coolest figures I have ever seen. It just so perfectly blends everything that we love about Jurassic Park into one incredible tribute to Jurassic Park and the Kenner line, and pretty much anything and everything Jurassic Park related, because you have so many different kind of like influences with these figures, because you could just see the classic Kenner influence, but you can also see the influence of Jurassic Park the film. On top of that, you can see Crash McCreary influence. Like, there's just so much when it comes to this set that you can love, and that again is one of my favorite aspects of Castermind Creations, is the fact that they just have their fingers on the pulse of what Jurassic Park collectors love, and they create it to perfection. And you can see that through the course of this entire figure. It is far and away one of the coolest and most impressive custom figures that I have ever seen, and that is a continuing trend with each and every Castermind Creations release. This figure, again, just perfectly represents Alan Grant in all of his glory, while also giving him that Kenner feel when it comes to all of the extras and his overall appearance. He is sculpted so nicely and so realistically. He is sculpted to show off every ounce of detail perfectly through the entire figure, showing off all of like the, texturing to his skin, the really nice wrinkling and everything to his clothing, his hair. His eyes, again, are so perfectly and nicely painted considering how small they are. I just find that area specifically to be super impressive. And the overall tones of color applied to him as well are just great. You include the fact that you have like all of the accessories like the snare and the backpack and everything, and they're just, again, like the perfect additions to an Alan Grant figure that is meant to, again, capture the love and heart of classic Jurassic Park collectors. It just doesn't get any better than that. And all of that as well is just as highly detailed and impressive as the Montana Max Alan Grant figure himself. And then you also have the Velociraptor. The baby raptor is so unbelievably cool. It is impressive beyond belief when it comes to the sculpt and how nicely it replicates a Crash McCreary style baby Velociraptor, and the fact that the paintwork as well also replicates that, same type of Velociraptor makes it twice as cool, and overall is probably the nicest baby Jurassic Park Velociraptor sculpt I've ever seen. So without a doubt, this set is a must-have if you are a Jurassic Park collector, a serious Jurassic Park collector. You really need to get this one into your hands and into your collection. So like I said, super limited edition number for this figure. Same deal for the adult Velociraptor, and if you want to see a review of that raptor, maybe before pre-ordering, I do have one here up on the channel. Check out my Castermind Creations playlist to find that review and check that out as well. But make sure you pre-order these right away. Again, check the links in the description. Head on over to Castermind Creations Instagram account and get that pre-order in right away to secure yours. And of course, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.